All right, guys, I apologize about that. We lost connection over here. So we are now. So, hey, it is a call-in show, 316-462-3673. That's the number on the bottom corner of the. Apologize about the service issue on this thing. I think we've got it figured out, and we're the show. We're gonna mail you the calls ice package, which consists of the tire rotation with Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Melham. We're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on that vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on it, just making sure that it's geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen, so you have all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. So, hey, apologize about the connection error that we had, but let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673 is the number to jump on the air here with us and talk about anything automotive. So, gentlemen, I'd like to apologize. So this is by far one of the hardest shows to ever have to focus on with between dodging cars and all the cool stuff driving by. You know, you get out here and you see all these older cars.
You mean old cars with carburetors, stuff?
Yeah, cars. It's cool when somebody else owns it, in my opinion. So that's one thing I can go to a.
We have this old car thing.
We do. There's a little back and forth on that for sure. So, but I can truly go to a car show and enjoy, appreciate, you know, the efforts that somebody else has in some of these vehicles. I
have no interest in that appreciation, but I appreciate it.
It's just not for me for sure. So, but again, so I do apologize. Just as far as focus or being able to focus on this particular event is very hard. Again, like I said, we're at Halstead at the Old Settler Days. We've got a lot of things going on here in town. I think they kicked this event off on Friday, and it doesn't shut down until Sunday. So, yeah, there's a lot of different events. So if you're in Wichita and looking for something to do, head on up here. The parade starts shortly after the show around 10 or 10:15, I think, is by what time the parade gets started. And I've been to a lot of different towns or fall festivals around. By far, this is per city block, I'm going to say probably has the most people in it. Nice. It's absolutely gets capita. Per capita, it absolutely gets packed up here. So, hey, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. We lost connection. We were talking about just experiences in the industry and where the industry has come from as far as tools that let's say even a manufacturer gives you or that we supply for our employees to give better customer experience to the customer.
Right.
And so a couple of the things that I can think of, you know, right off the top of my head is like our tire sales tool and having all the different options on a tire when a customer comes in. And you had mentioned that you had worked at Sears kind of early on in your career from an aftermarket experience. So give me kind of a difference in, you know, what Sears had to offer as far as number of tires or line of tires versus what's available to you today.
Well, I can say that Sears, I would say most of their business probably was tires and alignments and things like that. You were focused heavily on selling tires and a lot of brands. I mean, the same thing at the dealership. You can get pretty much any brand, but of course with Sears, you'll have your in-house brands. You'll have more of the lower line brands and stuff like that. You know, with the aftermarket industry, you have to know a little bit or a lot about a little bit or a little bit about a lot of different vehicles, as opposed to at a dealership where you can kind of focus on the one manufacturer. A lot of those things kind of stay the same.
Sure.
But yeah, when you're talking about tires through like Sears Auto Center, that was main focus of business. I would say probably 50 to 60% of the business was probably tires.
Well, one of the things that, you know, that I always bring up in the shop or on the show, and then Phil kind of always talks about it as well, is that, and he refers to it more of like a restaurant industry, is that, okay, you go somewhere, a restaurant around noontime, and there's nobody there. Like, do you want to eat there? Like, what's going on? As opposed to you go to a restaurant there where, you know, it's packed and you can't get a seat. Yeah. Like there's a reason for that, right? And so I also kind of convey that with us and what we do. And, you know, there are times where it's tough to get somebody handled in a very quick and efficient manner, for sure. We certainly try to do the best we can with that. But also, you know, if I've got a vehicle and it's got a problem, and it may be, you know, kind of a unique problem, like I would want that thing to go to a location where they see a lot of those same vehicles, right? And so the person that working on it is going to be more familiar with it, is going to know kind of the ins and outs or the idiosyncrasies of those vehicles, and what works good, what doesn't work good, as far as
seen that problem a time or two.
Yeah, and all it's going to do is increase efficiency, right? If they've already been there, done that, run across those situations, for sure. So, you know, that's definitely one of the things that I feel that we have an extreme advantage of, because, you know, we see more vehicles than most shops do in a day, compared to their seeing them in a week, potentially even a month.
And then on top of that, you know, your technicians have been trained by the manufacturer to isolate and to help identify these problems. And even if they can't, maybe there's no service bulletin out there, maybe can't replicate the problem.
Yeah,
we have the Ford engineers at our disposal, which we can contact, and they can help us figure things out too. So that's definitely a big advantage that you're not going to have at the aftermarket.
Very, very much so. And so I think you guys can both attest to that too, just in your career paths and where you've been, being at different size dealerships versus, you know, kind of where we're at now. So,
yeah.
So do either one of you have kind of another example of a feature or product that, because I've got kind of a list in my head, and we'll be more than happy to go through those. The next thing I was thinking of was the Ford Pass Rewards points. You know,
people love those; they use them all the time.
Well, so from your talk about, you know, when a customer comes in and they've got a bill of, or let's say it's just something as simple as a service. You know, on the sales side of the business, you know, a customer comes in kind of ecstatic about the new purchase of a vehicle or looking at something new. On the service side of the business, like they're there because their car either needs maintenance or something's broke, right? And so the energy level of that customer, which is understandably so, is probably not the same experience, right? And so from a person or a member of staff that is dealing with that kind of side of things
directly,
how does that help the energy when you say, you know, hey, don't worry about that service today, right?
That's true. I mean, you got to guide them in the right direction. You can't really go in and freak them out. Number one, you don't want to oversell them. You don't want to high pressure them. That never rubs anybody. Let them come in, make them feel at home, and just kind of roll from there. And then a lot of times the vehicle's going to be fixed correctly. More times than not the first time, which you may not get at the independent shop. You may get 3, 4, 5 tries,
visits to it.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And from that, we've been established on, and I to this day believe it. I know Phil's behind it as well, that there's enough wrong with people's vehicles. I don't need to sell anybody anything they don't need.
Right.
And the flip side of it is, I'm not here to push a needed service down somebody's, you know, force them to buy a needed service either. Like, it's our, that is. And then after that point,
you could have 4 seasons in the same day some days. So sometimes you have to show them that there is actually a severe service recommendation for maintenance and stuff like that. You could pull it up right there and show it to them as well. And I think that goes a long way too.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that as well. And so that was going to be one of the things actually on my list was being able to
I beat
run.
you to it.
You did. Yeah. You stole the words right out of my mouth. So, hey, again, this is a call-in show 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. We were in there for a little bit. Sorry about the glitch, service glitch, but I wanted to make sure that I got everybody introduced. So I've got our service manager, David Gray, is here with us today. And then I've got Ed Hammers, which is one of our service consultants here at Bell Hamilton Ford as well. And we are in the biggest little city, Halstead, America. And we're up here for
that's what the water tower says. I think that's what it says.
The biggest Halstead, America? It doesn't say that. It just says the biggest little city. Yeah. So we're up here in the biggest little city of Halstead, Kansas, and they're celebrating the Old Settler Days today, and so there's a lot of different events going on. So if you're looking for something to do, get up here. I don't think you'll be disappointed in seeing something. I don't know what that something is, but there's typically, and we'll get into this here after a little bit.
John Deere loader right around the corner.
Yeah, so between equipment and old vehicles and tractors and horses, we've got some marching bands over here. I've not been ever surprised, I guess, of what could potentially show up for sure.
Back to it real quick before I forget. We were talking about maintenance just a second ago on these cars because they're so expensive and maintenance is critical to making these things last. It's not uncommon while we're a new car dealership and we service a lot of new cars. Our average mileage on a car in service is 70,000-80,000 miles.
Yeah, we're right around the 70,000 mile mark.
There's several that come in with 200, 250, 300.
So that was that's actually a question on my list in my head today.
We're pulling stuff out of your head.
I wanted to know. I don't know how you get out of my head. Okay.
Back in the day, which we mentioned earlier, when cars were carbureted, if you had 100,000 miles, that car was pretty much done. It's had quarter panels put on it. It's had a new engine. It's had the transmission replaced maybe twice. And these new cars, people think, you hear a lot of times that these cars are plastic, they're not metal anymore. But these modern cars run circles around the old cars. If you maintain them, like Josh said, they'll run as long as you want them to run.
Well, so a couple of thoughts that I had with that is one is just the number of warranty tickets that are in the warranty period of a vehicle. I mean, years and years ago, I can remember, tires 12,000 miles, 15,000 miles, if you're lucky. And, you could go whole ownership of a vehicle and not have to put a set of tires on it, brakes, front brakes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So next question. No.
Some of us trade cars off before they need
it. Was there a finger pointed behind me?
I was just scratching my
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. So, the maintenance intervals obviously have gotten longer. The product itself has gotten better, but that doesn't make the maintenance need any less important, right?
No, absolutely not.
And being in this industry on a daily basis, I think any one of us can walk back in the shop at any given time and look at several repairs that are being made that otherwise never would have had to have been even performed had the vehicle been maintained a little bit different.
That's true.
Right. And so from your perspective, how, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but how, that conversation is always like it's too little too late from the customer side of things, but also you're trying to advise somebody so that the next go around for future reference.
Yes.
And it's a delicate situation to be in that, right? When hey, you could have maintained this different and we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
We would have a much different outcome here.
And so that goes back again, going to that restaurant that there's nobody at versus one that there's a lot of people at is what's the quality of service that you're being provided,
right?
And is somebody helping educate you along that way? Because I don't think the average consumer, well, I know the average consumer just doesn't understand what their vehicle's needs are, right?
Right. And, the maintenance schedule is where? In the owner's manual. Yep. And how many people are pulling out the owner's manual and sitting down and reading it at night? I would say closer to 1-2%.
Yeah, I can understand, or I can know for a fact that we could go look at brand new, or not new vehicles on the lot, but vehicles with hundreds of thousands of miles or 100,000 miles plus, and you pull it out and the spine's never been cracked on it, right? It's still wrapped in plastic. But also the other thing to the owner's manual side of things and maintenance, it's in there, but that's also kind of the bare minimum that somebody needs to do to their vehicle.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's where the value of the multi-point comes into play, and how important that is. And from your perspective and visiting with the customer, how important is that tool, the
multi-point inspection? It's absolutely critical to your vehicle, because there's a lot of things that you're never going to look at. You're not going to see your brakes. Most people are probably not going to waste a lot of time looking at their tires. They pop the hood, they may see if the fluid is full, but they may not know that coolant that's in there, the pH level, might be getting a little bit out of specs per se. Yeah. And of course, coolant starts to break down. That can become acidic. That can start to cause corrosion. Brake fluid, that's a hydroscopic fluid. So of course that soaks up moisture. The more of that the more corrosion you can get in your system there too. And you're not going to see that inside, but technicians can look at that. They can take a look at all that and show you. One of the other things I think that we do that's really cool that we didn't used to do back in the day are the video inspections, where the technician goes through everything with you.
He's pulling arrows.
Oh, I did it again.
So weird.
Yeah. Man. So talk a little bit about the video multi-point inspection and how that aids you, or how that works out.
It's a great feature. Customers love it. We love it. It really builds a lot of transparency into what the technician's looking at. A lot of times the technician will go right there. Some of the technicians like to show their own face on the video inspection, which isn't related to the car, but it's still a fun feature. But in any case, they'll then turn around towards the car and look at it.
A lot of them don't like to show their face.
Yeah. That's true too. Yep. Some of them don't like to do them at all, but they do them. But they can show you. Let's say you brought it in for a coolant leak is your main concern. Technician can put your vehicle up in the air. He can point his camera at that coolant leak, show you exactly where it's coming from, why it needs to be replaced. And then there's other things that you're not going to be aware of. Say your brake pads are down. We can show you right there where they measure the brake pads right there in front of you, measure your tires in front of you, show you an oil leak, all sorts of things. A lot of things you never would have known was happening.
When we started doing those video inspections a few years ago, well, several years ago now, one of the things that was pointed out was customer brings their car in, they talk to the advisor, they say goodbye, and the car goes back into this scary dark area
behind
of the shop.
the big curtain. Yeah.
Not sure what goes on back there in the video. It puts them back there with the tech under the car, inside the car, shows them the issues, and like you said, people just love seeing that, and it adds credibility to what we're saying, but it also opens eyes for the customer to see what we see back there as well. So it's like you said, transparency, and just better for everybody involved.
And a lot of times too, things that we're mentioning, like on the inspection, because obviously once we get the inspection, we'll call and contact the customer, tell them what they need. They may have they may not know what a water pump is, and you can show them right there in the video. So when you can actually put your eyes on it, it really kind of helps.
So for me,
make it easier to see.
Yeah, for me especially, outside of the automotive industry, pictures.
Absolutely.
Menus.
Yeah.
I could read it all day long, but I need a picture of it so I can truly understand. Look at this, gentlemen.
Wow.
It's an old car.
Beautiful
Look at
Coronet 440.
Yeah. See what I mean about the distractions?
Something shiny.
Yeah, something shiny. Ooh, that's shiny. So, well, very good. Well, I can't thank you, gentlemen, enough for coming up here and visiting with me today. On this show, and again, like I said, the focus level over here with everything going on.
Squirrel.
Yeah, you were handed a bag of tricks when I invited you to do this. So
one more little sidetrack. We mentioned warranty claims on a vehicle. Kind of going back a little bit, but
sure.
Back in the day when I first started in this deal, the Sears and the independent automotive repair shops were the ones that did the customer pay repairs, and dealerships did the warranty repairs. And if you couldn't make a living off of the warranty claims, you could, because there's a lot of warranty claims. We do now 25% of our business is warranty. Oddly, I mean, we're a new car dealership, one of the biggest ones around, but there's just so much more to do on these cars than the warranty claims. I heard a statistic one time that on average, a new car has like 4 warranty repairs in its lifetime. There's some that have a lot more, but there's some that have 1 or 2 or none. So it's not as big a deal as it's not as big a part of the business as what it used to be. So
Would definitely agree with that as well. One of the other things for warranty repair side of things, I had a freaking thought and I lost it. Way to go! It was just because it was because of new and shiny right here in front of us. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Completely gone. Hey, anyways, let's go. We got a couple people on the chat line. So Rex, good morning. Thanks for the comments there. And then Jason Cox says, that's why I trust Mel Hamilton to service my truck. You guys know the Fords more than anyone else, especially all the computerized technical parts of the truck. Plus it keeps up the warranty and specs of the vehicle. And so I guess that is kind of where I was headed with that. Reading that comment is what made me think of that. But talk about the time that you had in the independent world. Can you imagine taking a brand new vehicle now? So let's say one that's a year old or 2 years old, and somebody drives it a lot and it's outside of warranty. Now put that vehicle in an independent facility with all the electronics and all the what do you think is probably one of the largest repairs you make when it comes to electronics?
To electronics?
Yeah.
Put me on the spot. Why don't you?
Well, the answer I think is reprogramming.
Reprogramming is going to be a big part of it. Yeah. A lot of them.
Programming and our updating modules or reconfiguring stuff, right? And it just terrifies me thinking of a customer that is trying to do that in an aftermarket setting.
Well, I mean, number one, do they even have access to the software that they need to do that? I would say in most cases, probably not. Some of the scan tools, because obviously at Ford, sometimes we'll work on other model vehicles.
Yep.
We have some scan tools that can read their software, do their programming. Some, not so much.
Correct.
Get to some of the European cars and stuff like that. There's not a chance. And you multiply that by every manufacturer at the independent shops, and your odds definitely go way down.
Well, and I think too, just the number of specialty tools and equipment that we have, and to now think about that over all model line as an independent, like correctly do a job in that environment. Not to knock those guys, I just don't know how you could do it.
And trying to do stuff on different models. There's stuff that, as well equipped as we are, there's stuff we have to send out sometimes to get done that is something that we can't handle as far as a program on
even simple things. Sometimes programming a key on another vehicle we can't do sometimes. So
would definitely, but being able to identify that too makes a difference,
right?
As well. How about this old pickup, man? If I think I was going to restore something, not to get off track here, but if I was going to restore something. Okay, I'm not going to do it, but it would be a pickup. I think I would.
Let's face it, it's not going to happen.
I think it'd be a pickup. So Ed, you got to restore something.
Yeah,
you have to do it.
I have to do it. What am I doing?
What are you restoring?
That's an easy question. 1966 Chevy 2 Nova
Man,
SS. Yep.
Okay, so first car experience, or
my first car was a 73 Nova.
Okay,
yes,
okay, but you always
primer gray. There was more money in the engine than the rest of the car.
I can certainly say that I had that same experience with multiple vehicles.
Yeah. We'll just say the Chandler police crew, they knew me quite well.
Knew it very well.
Very well.
Knew the car very well.
Yes.
Hey, so I think that's a great call-in question. Let's say you have to restore something. What are you restoring? What year, make, model, and why? So, Mr. Gray, you're up.
70 Chevelle.
I knew that without even asking you.
LS3 6-speed.
Yeah. So, and you've had one.
And that was not the first car, but I had one back in the 80s. Big block, 4-speed, no air car, going to college. I was the coolest guy at WSU.
No air?
No
or
air.
65 AC. Roll down all four windows and drive 65.
Was the no air because it didn't work, or because you thought it was stealing performance?
It didn't come with air, and it didn't have. Nobody ever added air to it. Nobody me ever added air to it.
Nobody you.
That's how
Gotcha.
it came.
Okay, so what color would this car be?
Now it would be gray. Back then it was red, but it'd probably be gray.
Red.
Black stripes, gray car.
Oh, gotcha. Got to have the black stripes.
That's the one in my head that keeps floating around that you keep shooting down.
I'm doing it for your protection, not mine.
I
want to make sure that
for my own good.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you understand that and know that.
Oh, I understand.
for sure. So
Obviously, I haven't done it yet. I don't have one. So
yeah. Well, hey, call in show 316-462-3673. I think everybody's just enjoying listening to us talk. So no,
Let's not get carried away.
No, okay.
they're liking the sidetracks.
Yeah, somebody surely got to call in with what car that they would restore and why they would restore it. I would think for sure.
Well, what about you, Mr. Prophet?
You know,
Well, we got that it would be a truck.
well, okay, so yeah, I think a truck. And really, I couldn't even tell you as to. 'Cause I've never put any thought into it because I know it's not happening. So
Fair.
passion for a truck, just because you go to car shows and stuff like that, and just you don't see a lot of trucks.
Yeah.
And so I think just as far as the uniqueness,
Plus, you can use a truck.
yeah. Plus trucks are usable.
They are.
And then the other thing, I've always had a fondness for the Buick Grand National, and I don't know why, but that's always been one that I've always liked or had a passion for sure.
Clean lines on those.
Back in my Chevelle days in the '80s, there was a guy with a Grand National running around Wichita, and he was from somewhere. He was a foreign individual and had a funny accent. And he's always trying to race everybody, and his line was, "Come on, man, it's just a V6. It's just a V6." And it was one of the fastest cars in town at one time.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, and we've talked about this quite a bit on here as well, but the horsepower that like that car had, and versus what we're putting out, and
I think it made like 380, 390, and
everything that comes
Ford
off in a
Explorer.
assembly line
It's got
right
400
now.
horsepower. So.
The sports that are close to putting out, or can be for sure. So, well, very good. So, what do you think in the industry? What do you think the number one lack of maintenance item would be if you were to pick anything on an automobile? I'll let you guys kind of think about that. Years ago for me, I think it would have been tires. And when I say lack of maintenance on tires, I mean tire pressures.
Right.
So you went from filling stations that used to top off tire pressures every time you filled up, right? And those kind of went away.
Yeah.
Tires got a little bit better, and to where they're at now, you don't lose. And now with the tire
TPMS
pressure
sensors.
monitoring sensors, and when those first came out, it was kind of a joke, right? Whether does it really work? Is it a sense going on? I tell you, they really have dialed in now. I mean, you can look at any one of your tires, any position, know exactly what that is, and
And it tells you on your phone when you have one low, and
in
communicates with you all the time.
in reading that. And so that would be probably my answer. The next thing I think of is just general oil changes. Consumers, especially I think the manufacturers really led to confusion into that realm of things, and every manufacturer really. So years ago, kind of 3,000 miles, then we went to 5,000 miles, and then now we added these maintenance
10,000 mile oil changes,
maintenance lights, and then you got consumers that are servicing the vehicle every so often like that. And I tell you, for me, going back to the talk of walking back in the shop and looking at particular jobs that are going on, that like, man, this is really disheartening because you wouldn't be in this position. I would say that's that's definitely one on the high frequencies that you see is just sludging an engine. Like there's literally nothing wrong with any of the components other than they're not, they've been starved of oil. Mm-hmm. And if it was maintained different,
life gets busy. I mean, people are busy, and you hop in the car, you gas it, you drive it every day, and you got a lot of stuff to worry about with kids and work and stuff. So sometimes the oil change monitor or the sticker on the windshield just doesn't jump out at you like you'd hoped, and all of a sudden you're 7,000-8,000 miles into an oil change, and I got to get in right now, and then we're trying our best to get everybody else in that needs to get in right now as well.
So let's go down that road a little bit. And on your side of the business, what are some things that have evolved that has allowed people that have those busy lives to be able to still get their vehicle?
One of the main things we do that I've seen over the years, picking up and delivering vehicles that we do, back I keep saying back in the day, back when I started, back when I was a young guy, somebody needs a ride, we would call a taxi for them. We paid for it, but we were using taxi services. We didn't have any loaner cars. We used Enterprise rental car. We'd call Enterprise, wait for them to come get us if we could, or we'd run them to Enterprise if we had to. And we've got a full fleet of loaner cars. We've got a full fleet of shuttle drivers. We pick up and deliver lots of cars from people's work or school or home. Get them serviced, get them clean, run them back to them. So that's a part of the business that just didn't exist 20 years ago. Pick up, deliver, drop people off, pick people up, and that's come probably the farthest as far as convenience for the customer.
Would definitely agree. Right, like
Yeah.
to be able to, we go out to the customer like that. You know, we're maybe the customer's been to the dealership already once, and we've ordered a part for them, and then we're able to just
Go out
keep
and
them
install
from
in
having
their
to come
driveway.
back.
Yeah.
Or they'll call in. They'll say that they've got a quick, easy recall. It's a software update. Ford sent them a notice that they've got this update that needs done. They want to know when they can bring it in, and we'll suggest, how about we have the guy come to your house and do it? What? You'll do that? Huh?
Yeah,
Absolutely. I'll be home all day, and we'll get it scheduled, and our guy will come out and do it. People just can't believe that happens, and they love it. It works out great.
and then on the flip side of that, what that is able to do for you, and having the time to do a thorough job on that vehicle, and making sure that we've got all our all of our ducks in a row as far as everything that it needs, and again being able to spend that time with the customer.
Everybody's busy. Sometimes we might be watching it, but they're busy.
Well, I mean, okay, I think every one of us could say, you know, if you were would you be doing that, or would you rather be? Where's the industry go, and trying to kind of to predict that and stuff like that. And another
Vehicle deal too. When somebody
Yeah,
calls in,
that's
we pull up on the kind of what kind of codes they've got stored. If they've got a check engine light, we can tell them if it's urgent or not. We can tell them how much gas they've got. We can tell them their tire pressures. It's a new age. It's all technology. We joke, but it's becoming less of a joke all the time that we fix more cars with laptops than we do with wrenches. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement. And you know, the connected vehicle part of it was
another thing?
that was another thing. So
you're gonna be out of ideas here.
I am. Yeah, you guys are going to run me out. But I can think of multiple times where that's been a customer that, you know, they're out on a trip or something, and hey, my check on, and
Let me pull that up and look
so
at
the other side for you, and you know, to the listeners.
and get a decent idea. You may not know exactly what it needs. I mean, like kind of gives you the zip code. The technician can find you the exact address of where the repair needs to be done. So we can at least look and see. And yes, some codes will tell us exactly what part it needs. And one of the cool things that I know Ford has been doing recently is if they see that an appointment has been set up in our system, they can see the codes that are in there. They may even anticipate what part that may need, and they may just ship us one so we have it in stock when the vehicle gets to the shop, which is a big benefit because waiting for parts could really slow the shop down as well.
Yeah,
the checking the code online before the car ever gets there can relieve a lot of tension. I mean, there's anxiety if that light's on. Some people don't care, but some people that's going to mess up their week. So
That's a great point.
if we can take the pressure off by saying that's a fuel evap code, which is a minor deal, so not going to cause you any problems, but obviously needs to be fixed. But
Right.
It isn't urgent that it gets fixed right now, so can give you some peace of mind until we can get it in the shop and get it taken care of. So
well, and Ed,
that works out a lot.
you definitely touched on one of the things, which is a predictive repair intelligence, and with the advancement in AI and what Ford, you know, as Ford is investing
Right.
into that deal. and I've visiting with other dealers, that's been so much more of a benefit than what I believe we've got to experience just because of our parts inventory level, right?
Yeah.
And so because of where we're sitting in parts inventory, honestly, there's really not a whole lot of parts we don't have,
Right.
and so as a dealer or a customer that's maybe using a more remote facility that doesn't have near the dollars in parts inventory, that's a huge benefit.
Absolutely. And that kind of takes us back to the original topic too of the aftermarket shops too.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to anticipate and stock parts for a repair like that. They're going to probably have to call us to get it.
Outside of air filters or spark plugs or something, they've got to pick
Right.
up parts for just about everything.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to gave you a little bit of time to think about the maintenance question and what your thoughts are. I took the couple of easy ones. Do you guys, gentlemen, have anything to add to that? And if not, we can kind of move on. That's okay. And
Besides just the oil change, just fluids in general, they take a beating. The transmission fluid, the brake fluid, like Ed said, coolant. The factories are the people that invent these fluids are getting better and better at them. They're more high tech all the time, but the heat cycles these cars go through and the miles we drive, they just the fluids take a lot of the brunt of the wear and tear of these vehicles. So, like I said earlier, maintained, they'll run as long as you want them to run. So, within reason. I mean, they're not going to
well,
go
that's
around the world 5 times.
fluid, and Ed, you can probably attest to this more than David or I, but the general customer or consumer, I mean, they know they need their oil change, but really pretty much after that, you think transmission fluid, coolant, differentials, transfer cases, transmission, like all those other fluids,
Right.
they're doing a job. They're transferring heat each and every, heat cycle to that component. And every time that fluid goes through a heat cycle, it deteriorates.
Absolutely.
And is only able to perform at now a lower level than what it was before. And,
Yeah.
it just keeps deteriorating, and the importance of replacing it is huge, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, you're going to get wide variety of reactions to suggesting fluid maintenance. Some folks are going to be right on top of it. They want to do it. They want to stay on schedule. Some folks don't really see the value in it, but you change your oil, you'll see the value in that every 5,000 miles. All these other fluids, why wouldn't you change those two? They are going to break down.
Yeah, I never understood the fact that, I do acknowledge and know that I need to change my oil, but I don't, the other fluid, like I don't.
Nah, I don't need to change that.
I don't need to change that. Like
they've got mileage limits recommendations on them for a reason. So,
and everybody's driving style varies greatly. I mean, if you're spending a lot of time idling or you're towing things, that's going to be harder on your brake fluid. If you're idling a lot, that's going to be harder on your coolant and all the other things like that. That's going to definitely factor into the way the vehicle wears as well.
One of the things that I think have evolved over the years in this industry is, fuel efficiency for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's on the top of the manufacturer's mind as they're producing vehicles, because CAFE emissions and regulations that they've got to meet.
They've gone so far as to make the car shut off when you come to a stop to save fuel.
Well, yeah, but as we talk about those things, I mean, think about years ago, just our fuel systems and what that looked like versus today's modern fuel systems with direct injected, and so some of the things that we talk about all the time is obviously the BG fuel additives and what that does to a vehicle, but then also, look at it from a manufacturer standpoint of fuel that they're producing to put in a fuel station. They're going to put the bare amount of money into that fuel to get it into the station to meet that specification, right?
Right.
And then after that, and then how long does it sit in the tanks? How, what's the tank condition look like? All that stuff. And we just pump that stuff in our cars. But now we have these super efficient fuel systems with high pressure pumps, and, they spray such a fine mist and stuff directly into the cylinders. Like, I think fuel additive is a needed service that is, needed more so today than it was many years ago when you talk about carburetors and stuff like that.
The horsepower these things make.
Yeah.
We talked about the horsepower these cars make and the efficiency. There's efficiency with fuel mileage, but there's efficiency in horsepower as well. That efficiency and that fine mist of fuel is what makes these things so powerful, and they can get out of the way when they need to too. So a lot of things go into maintaining that fuel system.
Well,
Yeah.
with the direct injection too, these produce naturally a lot more carbon than the engines did back in the day, and that's I think why BG and Ford kind of teamed up to do that 44K fuel
Yeah.
system cleaning that we're using now, and they're even recommending it every oil change.
Yes.
So that tells you the value of that as well. That's coming
Chevrolet's
straight
jumped
from the
on board
manufacturer,
with BG
right?
with that as well.
Yeah, yep. There's the manufacturers are definitely recognizing it's one of the things that when they produce a Motorcraft oil, it has to meet this spec, right, before it's branded Motorcraft and gets put on a shelf.
Right.
And so they're controlling all the variables of the car, but then when you get to the fuels, like that's up to the fuel station, right? And so it's a variable that they can't control, and so with the addition of BG to help them, get that get some of that control back. That's what the involvement of that partnership is. And again, just from a fuel station, they're only going to produce what they're going to produce, and on that product, you kind of have the same attitude.
Well, I'm not going to go out
sure.
and name any actual names, but there are certain fuel stations around that are notorious for having just awful fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get vehicles in with check engine lights all the time, and you ask them where they gassed up, and
Well, the others,
to remain nameless, there are certain stations. It's always that one.
Like the restaurants that don't have any cars in the parking lot, you want to go where everybody else
Right.
buys gas.
and the other side of that too is, and no offense to any of the customers, but there's so many different fuel options out there.
Yeah.
There's so many different fuel options out there that by the time you get to E85 and then all your different ethanol contents and octane contents, there's just so many different options for a customer. So well, very good. Well, gentlemen, I still got a couple things on my list, but I'll tell you what, we're going to get ready for this parade. It's about ready to kick off here. So I cannot thank you gentlemen enough for coming up and hanging out with me for this hour, and hope you stick around, enjoy the car show, the parade.
You're
all that
right.
stuff.
It wasn't as scary as I thought.
Yeah. See, yeah. It's not. You didn't have any callers though, so
Well,
Nobody pressuring us there.
somebody could have put you on the spot there, I suppose. But yeah, again,
No more than they put us on the spot every day.
every day there. Gotcha. Well, very good. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very much for coming up and hanging out with me.
Thank
And everybody, we will talk to you live next weekend. So have a safe weekend, and talk to you next weekend.